Yo, what's up everyone? Happy Tuesday. Sorry I'm getting this video to you a little bit late. It's been a little crazy today. So thank you all for the feedback on last week, that poll that we sent out. We're really excited to dive into a bunch of these different topics that you guys are really interested in. I saw the top two were the songwriting and then like home production, your own like home studio stuff. So yeah, wanted to give you a little bit inside view into what we're working on here kind of currently today. So there's an artist, Taylor Tripodi, and she's actually gonna call here shortly, but we're still needing to finish up one more of her songs for her EP coming out. Yeah, it's exciting because we've been back and forth on a couple of different songs, and we're finally to this theme that we really like, but musically what we have currently is just not working, so we're actually starting from scratch like right now. So she's actually getting ready to call with some of her inspirations. She's been reading a couple different books, and the song will be kind of coming out during Lent this year. So yeah, this whole theme of like rain and drought, a season of drought, and God's gonna be kind of walking in and through that with you. So yeah, I'm excited. I wanted to go ahead and dive into the session really quick, just so you all can see before any writing session, there's typically a couple things that I do to kind of prep. Whether people come here or we're working back and forth mobily, I work out of Pro Tools. I know some of you guys are on Logic or GarageBand or Cubase, Ableton. We'll probably end up doing a bunch of different videos for the different platforms, but for now, there's some kind of basic setup stuff that I really like to do before we jump into writing. I really actually prefer writing on piano. So there's a couple different pianos I use a lot that are really inspirational for me. This is kind of your basic pop piano. It's called Alicia's Keys. It's a really good pop piano that I typically use. Taylor's calling now. We will finish this. Hey, what's going on, Taylor?
Hi, how's everything going?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, excited to hear about your inspiration. All right, before we get interrupted by Taylor calling, I was going through our session. As I mentioned in the session before we even get starting with the writing process, 2 different pianos, and then also 2 different pads to kind of help emotionally like move the track, and then typically some type of like cinematic percussion in case there's going to be any type of like movement. So yeah, I'll just kind of go through the sounds so y'all can hear. This is more the pop piano. It's from Contact. It's called Alicia's Keys. Yeah, so it's really clean, really crisp. I have this super moody piano. There's like this classical guy who developed this piano sound. Kind of hear that verb on it and stuff. So that one's like really good for that more like emotional stuff where you're, just really trying to like have fewer notes, but really evoke an emotion. Which is really cool, yeah. And then this pad, it's from this thing called Omnisphere. It's like a sampler synthesizer, and you'll hear it actually in a lot of my tracks that I do, just because it's so amazing. But it's, literally just this sweeping pad. So there's that. It's super emotional too if you need your track to kind of get there without using like a cymbal swell, especially when you're writing. Sometimes it's really helpful to just add that kind of under there. And then typically whenever I'm starting to write, we'll figure out what key's best for the vocalist, and I'll actually go ahead and find like a string patch or some simple little pad. This is actually made by the same guy who does that other piano that I mentioned, the really emotive one. But this is like a cool little like chamber strings type thing. So if we're in the key of C, I would play a G and a C, and I would go ahead and actually put that in as like a loop. So as we're writing through the whole thing, I'll just have that playing. And then if you want to go ahead and play, you can. those are kind of the elements I'm always using for more melodic stuff. And then I do have this other like cinematic perk that I'll use. So like if we got like the piano loop going, we'll go and actually drop this in behind like a. And obviously those tones are a little bit harsh there. So sometimes I'll go in and actually add, I can't right now because it's recording, but I'll go and add like an EQ just to roll off that top end and kind of keep it this really like subtle thing behind, just to help you kind of lock into the grid and stuff. So that's kind of what I got typically pulled up. And then for lyrics, a lot of times I don't have it pulled up now, but Google Drive will typically just do like a shared Word document. And that way all the people who are in the writing room can actually see live the edits that we're making on the document. So yeah, that's kind of behind the scenes, under the hood for what I prefer to use for a writing session. And then obviously if you like guitar, you just have that kind of in the room live. Make sure you have a microphone set up. So if you have something, get it quick before you forget it. Cool, so hopefully this is kind of helpful. I know it's not super in-depth, kind of generic at this point, but yeah, just a first step towards you kind of understanding how people who do this full time are creating. And like I said, this is kind of my preference on how I go about setting up a session when we're writing, just starting to create new ideas, but there's a million different ways, whatever gets you kind of in that creative space. I also encourage you, before any session, take time to pray. Yeah, really just enter into, even if it's 20 seconds of prayer, to kind of set you up for what you got going. I think that's really important. Yeah, hopefully this will help you guys a little bit too for the challenge this week. I'm gonna actually be working on this for Taylor the next couple days, and then she'll be coming to town in a week to track final vocals. So it's gonna be a very quick turnaround on this song, but it's definitely doable. You just have to make time. So we'll keep you guys up to date throughout this process. We're hoping to ideally get like a final demo done in the next couple days, and I'll try to post that so y'all can see the progress, and then we'll do final tracking the next 2 or so weeks. So it's gonna be awesome. Stay tuned. Thanks, you guys. Hey, what's going on, Taylor?
Hi, how's everything going?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, excited to hear about your inspiration.
So,
Say it.
let's see. So I'm pulling from a couple different things and a couple different tracks as well. But
Awesome.
Basically, there's this one book that I'm absolutely in love with. It's one of my favorite books. It's called Life of the Beloved
Cool.
by Henry Nouwen, if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Yes, he is brilliant.
He's amazing. So anyway, so there's this each chapter begins with this theme of moving from brokenness to, I guess, healing. And each chapter, so there's four chapters, and they're titled Taken, Blessed, Broken, and Given. And I mean, obviously there's a wellspring of amazing things in each of these chapters, but basically for this album and for this, this song we're trying to write, where we're kind of moving from brokenness and dryness to like a place of awakening, I think it'd be really cool to focus on just the depths of that dryness. And I really liked in this book how he has those themes that taken, blessed, broken, and given. It's kind of like the Eucharist in a way.
Yeah.
And that we're all kind of meant, like our lives become like the Eucharist, where we're like taken, blessed, and then we go through these times where we're experiencing this brokenness and this dryness and just like the depths of, I don't know, where we feel super alone sometimes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Yeah. And I think it'll be good because awakening's kind of this darkened place, but you're moving through it. And I like how you said, if we just kind of stay in the depths of that dryness, I think it'll like be a good balance on the record.
For sure. Yeah, and I think so that another thing I was drawing from a little bit too is the Liturgy of the Hours. And I heard the reading, like basically what could separate us from the love of Christ. And I think a lot of times when we're in the midst of just the depths of the brokenness and the dryness, we just feel like, how in the world is this going to be redeemed, and how in the world are we like going to get out of this? Yep. And I think just recognizing, and maybe like this could, like maybe the song could maybe move, like hint towards it. Maybe it doesn't have to be like explicit.
Yep.
Because obviously the rest of the record had like the songs of kind of like hope and healing, but maybe like hinting at it. And I think like nothing can separate us, like not even famine. Like it talks about famine, nakedness, all these other things. So, but like basically focusing the song a lot on that human dryness that we all experience. And then throughout the record, it kind of brings us to a place of like awakening. You know what I mean?
Yep, I love that.
Okay, cool.
Cool. And then did you have any references? I know we were thinking Amanda Cook, kind of.
Yeah. So I love the song Closer. I don't know if you've heard it from Bethel, but she does that.
How long ago was that?
There's a couple records that have that song in it. The one that I think is a little more raw. Let's see, which one is it? Is Brave New World.
Yep. That record's amazing.
Yeah. So it's like just that you feel, like the instrumentation, everything, like you feel the accents. So it's like super open. So as far as like the instrumentation, I think that would be really cool to draw from, like just like a very open, very open-ended one. Yeah. And then I know we were also talking about like The Voyage, I believe.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. The end, it kind of moves quite a bit on The Voyage, which we could or could not do, just depending on how big we want this one to get. But but yeah, I like the idea of it just kind of like slowly moving through, sitting in it, but it doesn't like fully arrive somewhere. Almost like it's you're stuck.
Yeah, like we were saying, like where it hints toward the hope, but like it doesn't really arrive.
I love that.
That's kind of where I'm gonna hopefully get to at some point.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I'll probably end up starting some ideas here musically and see if that inspires some stuff, but we'll go back and forth until we come up with something awesome before next week.
Perfect. Awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I'll probably send you something either later tonight or first thing tomorrow, and then we can kind of hop on a call.
Okay, perfect. And I will start working on lyrics and stuff like
sweet.
that. So.
Awesome. Thanks, Taylor.
Okay, sounds good, Shawn. We'll talk soon.
Ready? Thanks.
Okay, bye.
All right. So y'all kind of saw that conversation. Yeah, it's like better to work in person, but a lot of what we do with artists kind of all over is like that. So glad y'all got to see a little bit of that, and it's going to be an awesome process. We'll kind of keep you guys up to date throughout the whole thing. So yeah.